Okay, I'll preface this by saying I haven't had a chance to think, but it doesn't matter. So, I guess I want to start by going back a bit. I've always really valued, I guess, when I was little, I valued, for example, invention, making like stupid things work together, like little kids do, and like making like these stupid designs that never would have worked. But the act of actually creating that was something that was, I guess, valuable to me. And as I grew up, I always enjoyed learning about the world and learning how the world works. But I guess, to me, one of the things that always stood out as inherently human, what made us, what we left to the world, is the ability to create something for the sake of creating something that is beautiful, not necessarily to us, possibly just to other people, possibly only to us, but something that we create as beautiful. Not something that we create because it's useful to other people, not something that we create necessarily because it is to save society as a whole. And while those things have always been extremely valuable to me, this other was always, I thought, one thing that made us, I guess, uniquely human. So, as I guess over the past couple of years, I watched technology change. I watched essentially, you could see a device that with only learning on a few simple painters could generate a painting that looked as unique, as abstract, as emotionally intense as anything you'd ever see in the museum. A piece of abstract or surreal or photorealistic art of something that never existed or something that couldn't exist or something that you could never see yourself coming up with. This, like, no matter what area of my life I have looked to, I've always looked at creating something new, something that is distinct from what came before, as a way of looking out. And as I saw these new algorithms, you can pretty simply just take a convolutional neural network, train it to look at different intersecting windows of a picture, and then recognize something, and then just by recognizing something, create something. That challenged this idea of art. That challenged this idea of art being, I guess, human to me. And it was something that I thought was hard to reconcile, something that I thought was almost wrong. Because if the thing that differentiates us as people is no longer actually ours, then what do we leave? What, in a billion years when humanity is long gone, what do we have to show that we did something other than damage the environment and break down various fundamental things in I guess the world around us, and use things in the process. But then I thought to this story that I read, essentially about the Library of Babel. This idea that you have a library that has every possible work that could ever be written, every possible paper, every string of any given length is there somewhere in the library, and you can pull it out, and it exists in this library. Does that devalue what you can create? When you can create everything, does that take away from any given instance? I decided the ability instead to take these AIs, to take this ability to instantly transform the world, to instantly view the world in a different lens, as if you could change who you are, could change what you think about, and then apply that to something, apply that to create something beautiful in new ways. Like something like Snapchat, like all ethical issues with the company aside, is a new form of art. This idea of this ephemeral art is something that it creates, and this modification to what art is, the ability for us to create things that create, allows us to choose what we think is valuable in the process of creation. And in doing so, we can change what we leave behind. And as a result, I realized that creating art in itself is not necessarily the only thing that's valuable. Creating art that creates art can also have meaning.